look, folks, this is what I like to call champagne socialists, okay?
But you're asking other people to give their money to the government. Why aren't you giving 70% of your income to the government? You could.
Well, I'm not on the top 1%, but I have no issue.
You don't need to be.
Well, that's the argument I'm making, right? That it's not about working class Americans or people like me who are upper income Americans. It's about really the wealthiest top 1%. Now,
but sure,
I have no issue.
Wait, you're a college
paying
professor.
Taxes.
I'm not attacking you, by the way, at all.
I pay about 30%.
But
I know you're not.
Why not pay 70%? I don't understand. Like, what's holding you back? Why not lead by example?
Tucker, you know what's holding me back? If I knew how to do that, I would have no issue doing that. But the tax code is incredibly convoluted.
No, it's totally no. Trust me. Let me simplify it for you. Just write a check, pay your taxes, then figure out what you pay. 30%, you said. Just figure out what another 40% of your income would be, and just send it to the U.S. Treasury. Washington, D.C., no zip code required.
You know what
I
do, Tucker? You know what I do instead of that? Because we don't have a fair system of taxation, I write checks to nonprofits that are providing services that the government should be providing.
Okay, but
so I write checks to Planned Parenthood. I write checks to nonprofits that provide a safety net for Americans. You may be making an argument for me. The same effect.
I think you may be, but it doesn't actually. So why not pass a law requiring people to send money to charities that are more effective than the government is? I mean, so you're basically conceding.
That would be great too. As long as the 1%
is not the most efficient way to lift up the poor, then why won't we send it to the government then?
Tucker, I would say this train wreck of a Trump government is certainly not the best way to serve the poor since they have no interest in serving the poor. But in general, I think government does a fine job providing the services
I'm just asking you to practice what you preach. Let me just ask you one other question here.
I do practice what I preach.
Well, you don't. You're telling other people to send their money to the government, and you're not. So, like,
I'm telling the top 1%. No, Tucker, don't put words in my mouth. I am telling the top 1%. I am saying the government needs to tax them fairly. If we're going to talk about taxation, I actually think I'm taxed pretty fairly. I choose to spend way more than the majority of my income on other people. I choose to do that. But we're not talking about me. We're talking about.
Of course, we're not talking about you. You don't want to do it.
We're talking about the top 1%.
It sounds awful.
Tucker, no, you don't get to do this. You don't get to lie.
So this college professor, and God knows how long she has been in academia. I don't know if you've been in academia or not, but it's literally like a completely different planet. These people don't live in the same universe as the rest of us. But this person has had her, sort of brain rotting in academia for God knows how long. And she wants everybody else to sacrifice 70% of their income to the federal government, because we all know that the federal government just spends all of our money so well. All of these taxpayer dollars that they can't wait to just, send to Ukraine or light on fire or do all of these other things to it. So she wants these 1%ers to send 70% of their income to the federal government. Mind you, not to nonprofits, not to any sort of altruistic enterprises, but to the federal government. But oh no, she doesn't want to do it. Okay, see, this is the thing with these champagne socialists, is that they want everybody else to sacrifice their money. They want everybody else to give 70% of their income. They want everybody else to make these sacrifices that they would not dare to make. This is why nobody takes these people seriously. This is why nobody is going to advocate for having even the top 1% of the world and of the country send 70% of their money to the federal government. It is completely ridiculous. And I think that fundamentally on some level she knows how ridiculous this all is, but she continues to advocate for this. And it's always somebody else making the sacrifice, not champagne socialists like her.